Illinois' winningest high school program, Centralia, made an early exit from the '98 tournament. Moline's storied program suffered the same fate last March. Who's going home tomorrow? The Maroons and the Orphans. Say cheese, next.
Welcome back to the excitement that is March Madness. We are at the final game of the quarterfinals for the IHSA Boys Class AA State Basketball Tournament. I'm Lisa Prati with the IHSA Television Network. The Centralia Orphans take on the Moline Maroons for a chance to play Lanphier in the second game of the semifinals tomorrow afternoon. The last time Centralia made it downstate was in 1998. They lost to Galesburg in the quarterfinals, and for Moline, it was just last year against Lyons Township, also in the quarterfinals. So both teams are hoping to advance to the Final Four. We will see which one momentarily. For more on how these two teams match up, here are your announcers, Tom Stocker and Bill Hitt.
All right, Lisa, thank you very much. One more spot up for grabs here in the semifinals tomorrow. These are two legendary programs that helped put this tournament on the map back in the single class days, and it's going to be an exciting matchup here tonight because, Bill, one of the things is these two teams are so very, very similar.
Yeah, they play a very similar style of basketball. They both like to push the ball up the court, both very aggressive on defense. It ought to be a great game.
The Moline Maroons are here at the Elite Eight. Let's see how these two teams got here. We take a look and see that Moline defeated Sycamore in the sectional semifinal, roared from 16 points back to defeat Rochelle, and then survived in overtime to beat Rockford Boylan 51-49. Now for Centralia, they defeated Belleville East in overtime in the sectionals, semifinals, then defeated Belleville West for the sectional championship and romped to a 30-point victory over East St. Louis in the super sectionals. Moline is here in the Elite Eight for the second consecutive year. As Lisa mentioned, they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the heroics of Jay McAdams Thornton.
Yeah, he's been their go-to guy all along, does all the dirty work for them, also can hit big shots like he did in that ball game.
He's a guy that seems to come up with a big play. So is the go-to guy. The MVP, as Rick Moss calls this player. Lance Markham is one of the big stars this year for Centralia.
Yeah, he is, and he does the same types of things that McAndrew does for Moline. Hits the shots when he needs to and plays strong defense on the premier players of the other squads.
When you have two teams, Bill, that are so very similar in style, virtual mirror images of each other. Both teams start 4 seniors and a sophomore. You can have some very interesting results on the court.
Yeah, you know, they both play, as I said, similar styles, and the keys for Moline are very much like the keys for Centralia. Moline wants to get everybody involved in the offense early. They want to make sure they get touches. They're giving up some height inside, so they're going to have to defend the post, and they're going to have to be alert for the quickness off of the Centralia bench.
As for Centralia, are their keys similar?
Very similar. Centralia wants to establish themselves in the pivot. They have a little bit of a height advantage, so they want to own the glass, own the paint, make sure that they can score inside out. The other key for them, they've got to find Anthony Beard and control Jay McAndrew Thornton.
These are two programs, Bill, that, as we mentioned, help put this amazing tournament on the map back in the single class days, but both of them are trying to end long droughts and bringing the hardware back to their respective schools. It's been 60 years since Centralia, I should say since Moline had brought a trophy back home. Meanwhile, of course, for Centralia, last time they were in the title game was the Anthony Spentley game, the first game in the Assembly Hall, 1963.
Well, they're great programs. Both of these teams are extremely well coached. I think we're going to see a very similar kind of game from each of them, and it might come down to who makes fewest turnovers.
When you have these two programs like this with legendary tradition behind behind them. Is that a ghost? You've been there. Is that a ghost that hangs over your shoulder as a coach?
Oh, I think it does. I think both of those coaches are aware of their past, and I think both of them are trying to reestablish the future. I think it's real exciting.
Let's see the locations of these two respective schools here in our final, both obviously outside of the Chicago area. Moline over in the Quad Cities, and you head down just off I-57 and you find Centralia, the winningest program in the history of Illinois high school basketball, over 1,900 victories in that legendary career. So we are in store for what should be a whale of a contest here in this final quarterfinal game here at Carver Arena between two legendary programs. The winner will play Springfield Lanphier in tomorrow's second semifinal game here in Peoria. Let's go now to our public address announcer and meet the two teams in tonight's game.
Good evening, basketball fans. On behalf of the Illinois High School Association of the City of Peoria, welcome to America's original March Madness here in Carver Arena. In this quarterfinal contest, the Moline Maroons will take on the Centralia Orphans. Let's meet the teams for this quarterfinal contest. For Moline, 6'3" sophomore. 4, Jamie Hallstrom. 6'1" junior. 11, Jeff Perez. 5'10" freshman. 14, Justin Yount. 6'2" junior. 22, Adam Johnson. 6-foot junior. 30, Joel Goldstone. 6'4" sophomore. 34, Jordan Samonson. 6'6" junior. 44, Marcus Sharkey. 6'9" sophomore. 50, Kyle Lassick. 6'4" senior. 52, Matt Chenoweth. 6'5" senior. 54, Kurt Hansen. Now the Centralia Orphans. 5'10" senior. 5, Jason Palmer. 5'11" junior. 20, Anthony Jones. 6'1" senior. 21, Andrew Walton. 6'2" senior. 22, Blake Friels. 6'1" senior. 24, Jamal Palmer. 6'1" junior. 30, Jordan Queen. 6'1" sophomore. 32, Terrence Bradley. 6-foot sophomore. 42, Neil Crosby. 5'10" sophomore. 50, Roland Miller. 5'10" sophomore. 52, Brandon Westbrook. And now let's meet the starting lineups. And a forward for Moline, a 6'3" senior. 24, Jay McAdams Thornton. And a forward for Centralia, 6'1" senior. 11, Caleb Edson. The other forward for the Maroons, a 6'2" senior. 32, David Burke. The other forward for the Orphans, a 6'6" sophomore. 34, Matt Shaw. At center for Moline, a 6'5" senior, number 40, Travis Nunn. At center for Centralia, a 6'6" senior, 54, John Smith. The guards for the Maroons, a 6'1" senior, number 10, Anthony Beard. Guards for the Orphans, a 6'2" senior, number 4, Lance Markham. The other guard from Moline, a 6-foot sophomore, number 20, Wesley McCorkle. The other guard for Centralia, 5'10" senior, number 10, Brian Dinkelman.
And the head coaches, that's Frank Dexter, 8th year at Moline, 26th year overall as a head coach. And he's got a little personal experience in this kind of tournament pressure. We'll elaborate that a little bit later. Rick Moss, 8th year as the head coach at Centralia, over 200 victories. Overall, his 22nd victory, also 22nd year, I should say. Also had a stint as an assistant coach in the Big Ten with the Iowa Hawkeyes. Is the start as imperative for these two teams as maybe it was for some of the earlier squads today, Bill?
Well, I think it's always good to get off to a good start, but both of these teams, I think, have enough senior leadership that if they don't play well right off the bat, it won't be the kiss of death for them. But any coach will tell you the first 2 minutes of the game and a half are real vital.
Moline's on a mission after they lost in that tough overtime loss to Lyons Township last year. For Centralia, they're trying to rebuild that program that, of course, was made famous across the state by Arthur Trout.
Rick Moss is a great coach. He's been successful every place he's been, and he's already bringing that program back to some of its glory days.
There are 51 wins between these two teams combined. Only 9 losses. In fact, Moline tying their school record with 26 victories so far this year. Our officials, Michael Bromley, Stanley Mitchell, and Ray Piagentini. Final quarterfinal game of the day. Jay McAdams Thornton, the key guy for Moline. 14.6 points a game. There is the Centralia guard, Brian Dinkelman, and you look around, a lot of serious faces. It's business time right now. Here we go. And Moline wins the opening jump. Anthony Beard will walk it up. He's their leading scorer at just over 20 points a ball game. McAdams Thornton now out to McCorkle. Very deliberate look here as Centralia looks to be sitting back in a zone, maybe a bit of a matchup zone right now, which is a little unusual. Driving the baseline, the shot blocked, getting it back was Burke. Shot blocked again. 2 blocks inside there for Centralia. And here's Brian Dinkelman for 3 of those shot no good for Caleb Edson. And the rebound controlled by Moline's Travis Nunn, who is one of their top rebounders. McAdams Thornton pulls up, jumps the pass over on the wing. Anthony Beard can line it up from outside, but he hit that one off the heel of the iron. And here's Lance Markham.
Both teams are a little bit playing a little bit faster than I think either one wants to, pushing the ball. Maybe not the kind of shots coaches want.
The game's still trying to find the rhythm right now. The fadeaway shot partially blocked by Kirk Hansen. And here comes Centralia. That was John Smith, I should say, with the block for Centralia. And now the Orphans with the basketball is Lance Markham on the wing to Dinkelman.
It's interesting. Both teams starting in a zone, a little 2-1-2, 2-3 zone.
There's the straightaway 3. Looked like more of a pass to John Smith, and it may have been a pass, and Smith put it up and in for the first 2.
Kids say if it doesn't hit the rim, it wasn't a shot, so we'll count it as a pass.
Centralia with the early lead here in the first quarter. Curling into the lane. Burke gets it down low. McAdams Thornton. Nice strong move to the hoop for his first 2.
Yeah, that was a nice little curl off the screen, and McAdams Thornton strong to the boards.
Just about 2 minutes gone here in the opening quarter at Carver Arena in Peoria. Tom Stocker, Bill Hitt with you as we're going to find out who our final semifinalists for tomorrow afternoon's action will be. As Centralia works it around the perimeter, Matt Shaw now in the corner to Caleb Edson. Brian Dinkelman over on the left wing to Matt Shaw. I think you're going to see both coaches try to mix it up defensively a little bit. Perhaps show more than just a straight man-to-man or just a straight zone look as they get it down on the block to John Smith. Good offensive rebound, Matt Shaw, and he converts.
You know, this is one of the things that Rick Moss had told me before. They have to own the paint. They've got to own the glass. Moline cannot afford many second shot baskets.
Centralia with the 4-2 lead. David Burke gets it back out front. Beard now over on the wing. Wesley McCorkle. McAdams Thornton getting a screen. Didn't have much of an advantage in the lane. Gets it back. Drives in. Strong muscle play. He puts it up and in.
Yeah, Centralia never got a step in front of him. They played the side. He just lowered the shoulder, got himself to the glass.
On the wing, Lance Markham. From the corner, Caleb Benson hits the boards with a three-pointer.
Centralia's got some pretty good outside shooters. They're doing a nice job of stretching the zone already.
Caleb Benson hitting his 25th three-pointer of the season. Right now, the Orphans leading the Maroons 7-4. Even the nicknames have tradition in this game. The shot missed by Moline, and here comes Brian Dinkelman. For three, Lance Markham, nothing but the bottom of the net.
They did a nice job pushing the ball, finding the shooter, got his feet planted. You can tell when the shooters know they're on rhythm.
That's his 81st three-pointer of the year. A quick hand and defensively from Centralia right in front of their bench. The pass was intended for David Burton. And we've got a timeout on the floor. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
This is my country. These are my people. This is the world I understand.
It's not just talking about service, it's really knowing the people we serve.
I know them like the back of my own hand.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
And let's see how these two cities stack up. Moline with a population of just over 43,000. Centralia down in southern Illinois at 16,000. The enrollment, Moline about a little over 2-for-1 matchup in the enrollment figures there. And of course, Moline out of the Western Big Six and Centralia out of the South 7 Conference. Well, our fourth and final game of the day, and this place is as packed as it was, maybe even more so than earlier today. Over 11,000 here in this evening session. We got more action coming your way with two semifinal games tomorrow, and then of course tomorrow night the consolation battle for third place, then the state championship, as we're being entertained by the folks who are playing the instruments from Gurney Warren. Moline trailing by 6 after Centralia had lit it up quickly with a couple of back-to-back trays. McAdams Thornton down on the block to David Burke. McAdams Thornton driving in against John Smith, and the shot goes.
He's just a real powerful force down in the lane. He's got good body balance and strong moves to the basket.
About 3.5 minutes ago in the opening quarter, as Centralia works it around the perimeter. Out front with it is Anthony Jones, as he's the first to come off the bench for Rick Moss's team. They get it down on the block to Max Shaw. He got in trouble, and a reach around hold from behind, and that's going to be charged to Wesley McCorkle, the first foul of the basketball game. The tradition, take a look at this. Look at the district titles, regionals, sectional titles, super sectionals. The one big goose egg there Moline like to take care of in the championship. Centralia has won 3, but hasn't won one since 1942. A lot of hardware from the IHSA tournament and the respective trophy places at these two tradition-rich basketball programs. Shaw getting it down on the block and a little shove from behind.
You know, again, Rick Moss wanted to go inside out. They're really making a concerted effort to get the ball inside in the early in this ball game.
That was Travis Nunn who picked up his first foul of the basketball game, and 2 quick team fouls on Moline. Anthony Jones looping it inbounds to Lance Markham. We haven't called his name often yet. He has hit 1 3-pointer in this contest. Well, he's going to try a long-range 3. No, that's a backdoor pass to Matt Shaw for the slam.
That was a great job of setting up that play and a great job of going to the basket strong.
Centralia has doubled up on Moline here in the first quarter, and it's turned over. Walking with the basketball, Travis Nunn. First turnover for either team so far in this basketball game. Not surprising given that these two schools are so very well coached. First substitution in for Moline now. Matt Chenoweth has come in for Frank Dexter's ball club.
I think Frank just wants to calm Travis down a little bit. He's one of their premier scorers. He wants to make sure he's got his head on, get back in the game quickly, I think.
Moline staying in the very mobile zone defense right now. They loop it down looking for John Smith, and nope, he pushed off to get open for that pass, and he gets his first foul, and that's the first one on the Orphans. Centralia now bringing in Jamal Palmer, who can really provide a defensive spark off the bench for the Orphans, a 6'1" senior.
When they bring in Palmer off the bench, they like to put a lot of pressure in the backcourt.
You saw the common opponents. Both these teams played in the they played Pekin this year, one of them in the Pekin tournament. Centralia, of course, hosting its own great Christmas time tournament. And the Centralia foul is going to be charged on Jamal Palmer. An early 12-6 edge for Moline with just under 2.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Anthony Beard is yet to score. He's their leading scorer. Got it back out. Nice save by McAdams Thornton in the lane. The jumper's a bit long, and a strong rebound from Matt Shaw, who averages over 8 rebounds a game to lead Centralia.
He's just a sophomore, and he plays with a lot of poise, a lot of strength out there.
Both these teams starting, one sophomore each. The rest, all starters, were seniors. No shot clock in high school basketball for those of you who might have been surfing across the channel selector and came upon the best high school basketball tournament in America right here. Lance Markham. Good patience shown here by Centralia. Early they were shooting perhaps a little quick. Right now they're working to get the good shot. And hitting that good shot, Anthony Jones, his first 2.
The key to that play was Jamal Palmer stepping through the trap in the corner. They were able to rotate the ball to Jones.
It's a 10-2 run right now for Centralia. Jay McAdams Thornton. Defended very closely by Jamal Palmer. Down inside, the shot blocked. Looked like Shaw got a piece of it, and Centralia's got it with an 8-point lead. Quickly they push it down court to Edson. Caleb Edson with a little turnaround. Jay, he's got 5, and it's now a 12-2 run.
That's a great job of pushing the ball, running to the spot, and looking to receive the pass.
Under a minute for the opening quarter. Wesley McCorkle holds up and drew contact there against Anthony Jones and got the foul.
Yeah, Coach Moss wasn't happy with that. You know, you got under a minute to go. You want to be give a little bit more cushion there. Don't give someone a bailout. I think he felt that was going to be a bad shot.
So that'll put Wesley McCorkle, the 6-foot sophomore, at the free throw line, who maybe the 6 foot's a little generous, maybe more like 5'10". Don't worry about it. He can still dunk. In fact, he's been called for goaltending in the playoff games on the road here to the Elite Eights. And substitutions on both sides. As Burke heads out of there, along with Chenoweth for Moline. And at the free throw line, McCorkle. The 74% free throw shooter makes them both.
And Moline showing a little press after that free throw.
Centralia has won 8 of its last 9. The last loss against Mount Vernon back in February. Now, you don't get too many teams. You don't lose a game in March and make it here. 24 seconds to go. Centralia has again doubled up on Moline here in the first quarter. Rick Moss wants to take a 30-second timeout and talk it over on how they want to go at it here with 16.8 seconds remaining. Folks, if you are into cyberspace, get online, www.ihsa.org, and you click right up there at the top. You can get the latest, what's happening statistics-wise. You can get the play-by-plays, the stat sheets. You can get the coaches' quotes. You can find out the upcoming matchups. You can get school information. That helped us prepare for this tournament, www.ihsa.org.
Tom, I'm trying to get technologically suave. I even could work that out.
Well, I tell you, one thing, you become an administrator, now you're becoming computer literate.
Miracles never cease.
What's next?
Rick Moss called that timeout to get Matt Shaw into the game. Let's see if he has a special play run for him.
Anthony Jones out by the circle. Nice crossover move and hits the silky jumper just with a couple of seconds left, and we've reached into the first quarter. It is a 10-point lead for the Orphans of Centralia. They lead 18-8. Now this from your local sponsors. Sponsor for the Centralia cheerleaders. She's a little maternally, I should say, maternally involved right now.
That sounds good.
Having a baby back down in Southern Illinois, and your girls miss you. And we hope you are enjoying the telecast we're sending your way from here in Peoria. Too bad they couldn't find some girls that had some enthusiasm, you know. There's Lance Markham, just a three-pointer in this ball game, but still a 10-point lead for Centralia. Centralia getting it down low, a little too strong. John Smith and a rebound for Moline, and here's Anthony Beard. He's got the score in the game. Got it ahead to Burt, and he is bumped and fouled. Foul's going to be on Anthony Jones, who gets his second. That's number 4 on Centralia's. Frank Dexter does not want to go 1 and out for the second straight year in the Elite Eight. As you see that Brian Dinkelman just checked back in, and not a bad stint there off the bench for Anthony Jones, who scored 4 points, almost his per-game average for the season. David Burke in traffic. Finds Jeff Perez, who's come in, and Perez nailing the three-pointer, his 12th of the year. They needed that tray big time. Nope, it's a 2. It's a 2. So change that 3 to a 2, and it's an 8-point lead for Centralia. You like to see that as a coach. If you're going to change it, make it quick, make it emphatic.
Absolutely. You want the officials to have control of the game and make the right call.
Brian Dinkelman finds Markham. And as they get it down low, a little push off there, looked like for John Smith. They're calling it tight right now with the action down in the block.
You know, John Smith and Matt Shaw, both real strong post players. He was establishing position, just backed up too much.
And quickly back off the bench now. Here's Jamal Palmer checking in for Centralia, and Smith takes a breather. That is a 5-inch trade-off, though.
Yeah, that's a big difference defensively. You give up a lot of height, maybe a little bit more quickness.
David Burke curling down the lane. He finds Perez. Perez hits another long 2.
You know, Centralia's guarding. They're paying so much attention inside that they're giving up something. What they're giving up is the perimeter shot to him.
But I'm Frank Dexter. I'm going to say, Jeff, be a little more aware of where your feet are. Another matter of inches, and you got a pair of threes instead of a pair of long deuces. A 6-point Centralia lead. Down along the lane to Shaw. Couldn't get it to go. He wound up on the deck, but he'll go to the line and he'll shoot a couple as he was fouled by Travis Nunn, who got a second.
You know, Tom, that's a real good execution. When they bring the ball over there, that little bounce pass to the post, he stays strong. He catches it before he steps to the basket.
Two very fundamentally strong teams here in this quarterfinal matchup, as the free throw is good for Shaw, a 79% free throw shooter. Last year, his brother Josh was one of the mainstays for Centralia. As you see, checking in now, Jason Palmer replacing Caleb Edson. And Rick Moss thought that last year Matt was just kind of along for the ride, but he also learned a lot from Josh, and Josh's injury may have prevented them from perhaps being in the Elite Eight a year ago. As he missed the second free throw, it's a 7-point Centralia lead. Burke drives the baseline and threw it away as he was looking for Travis Nunn. Jason Palmer over to Markham. Tried to get it down low to Shaw. Denied nicely. Nice breakup by McAdams Thornton. Oh, Centralia thought that was over and back. That one dribbled off the knee by Nunn. Was able to rescue it. McAdams Thornton drives. Nunn had it, and he's fouled. Looked like bumped there by Jamal Palmer.
Rick's Moss is a little upset. He thought he double dribbled. Probably did in the backcourt. Just making sure the official knows what he's thinking right now.
Right now, Rick is not telling that gentleman what his dinner plans are for after the game.
No, probably not.
Both these coaches, long careers at several different schools along the way. A lot of experience on the bench at the helm of these two squads. Just under 6 minutes for the first half. Centralia leading Maroons of Moline by 7. Moline with the basketball. Stolen away. A bad pass by Perez. And here is Jason Palmer. The long three. Short off the iron for Dinkelman. But he gets it back. In the lane, Shaw. Left-hand layup good. He's got 7.
Great pass. You know, Dinkelman was trying to skip it across the court to Lance Markham, and Matt Shaw just intercepted the pass, made the layup.
Right now, offensively, Centralia seems to be very, very much in rhythm.
Yeah, both of these teams are settling down a little bit, but Moline's just probably pressing a little bit more at this time.
Well, let's check now with our sideline colleague, Lisa. What have you got for us?
Tom, I have Doris Edson, and Doris is the grandmother of Caleb Edson, playing here for Centralia. Talk a little bit about why the team is wearing the black stripe.
They're wearing the black stripes on their shoulder in memory of Caleb Edson's grandfather and John Smith's wonderful friend who has sponsored him, Terry Brown. Terry Brown died 2 months after Caleb's grandfather of a heart attack. He was 54. Caleb's grandpa was 75. And they do this in their memory.
That's fantastic. And your husband was actually called Country Bob. And tell us why he was called Country Bob.
He was called Country Bob's because he made the recipe for Country Bob's all-purpose sauce. It's an all-purpose barbecue cooking sauce. It's pretty well known in the state of Illinois and several other states, but he loved his grandson.
And I'm sure it's a great sauce, and I'm sure all the players on Centralia have been using it at some point or another. Oh, yeah. Tom, back to you.
All right, Lisa, that was the case where getting sauce with Country Bob was a good thing. As we're back here at Carver Arena, let's take a timeout and hear now from our network sponsors.
This is my country. These are my people.
talking about service. It's really knowing the people we serve.
I know 'em like the back of my own hand.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
Bradco Supply Corporation and Owens Corning, makers of vinyl siding and shingles, are proud to be sponsors of this year's Illinois High School Association State Basketball Tournament, the home of America's original March Madness. And they wish the best of luck to our teams here in this quarterfinal game, Centralia and Moline. Centralia in its 23rd Sweet 16. First appearance back in 1909. It was a real cold March, if I remember correctly. 3 state championships, but they haven't won it since 1942. See that second place, 1963, losing in the famous Smedley shot at the Assembly Hall. First one ever, Moline in the Sweet 16 for the 26th time. First time back in 1916. Never won a state championship, and they're trying to bring home a trophy for the first time since they were second back in 1951.
You know, I'm like many other basketball fans, and I remember many of those games on TV and down at the Assembly Hall. They were great classics. Get you hooked on the sport and get you hooked on high school basketball.
The free throw for McAdams Thornton's no good. It's a 7-point lead for Centralia. Coming up in the halfway mark here in quarter number 2. Palmer with a one-hand pass. It's deflected back to Palmer, who was able to save it. Was he able to? Yes, he was able to get it out of bounds off of the defender, Jeff Perez.
White ball, sideline, sideline.
You know, Centralia has shown 3 or 4 different set plays where they're looking for just a quick score. That one they tried to dive Shaw down to the block, just couldn't make the entry pass.
Centralia so far has been able to, not at will, but almost at will, execute their offense, run their set plays. As you see Palmer finding Markham. Lance Markham just 3 points so far in this ball game on the 3-pointer back in the first quarter. In the corner, Blake Friel seeing his first action in this game. They work it around the perimeter, around that Moline defense. Brian Dinkelman. Now Markham out by the circle. Again, no shot clock. They can take as long as they want, and working for the open shot. There's Dinkelman. Even his coach calls him the team clown. He keeps everybody loose. In the corner, Matt Shaw. Markham quickly shadowed though. Shaw down low. Splits the double team. Can't get the shot to go. McAdams Thornton with the rebound. A lot of work for that shot. And Moline scores very quickly at the other end.
What a great look by McAndrew Thornton on the break. Beautiful bounce pass, hit him in stride.
Travis Nunn getting his first 2. And it's a 5-point ball game. It was a 10-point Centralia lead after the first quarter. Dinkelman kicks it out to Jason Palmer. Bounces it down low to Shaw. He's fouled. Rick Moss in front of us saying it was about time. The foul called on Jeff Perez, who gets his first. Just the 4th team foul on the Maroons in the first half. There you see that finish off that quick break with Travis Nunn getting the feed and getting the easy 2.
Centralia really focusing on getting the ball inside, and Moline doing a great job of collapsing on him when he does.
Lance Markham, 6'2" senior. He hasn't committed to a college yet. Rick Moss says somebody's going to get a steal. Whoever signs number 4 there, Lance Markham. Even the haircuts on both sides, throwbacks. Here's Lance Markham again, pulls up and hits nothing but net. He's got 5.
That's a big shot with a lot of pressure on him. Might have even got bumped on the shot, kept his concentration.
Markham's first field goal of the second quarter. A 7-point Centralia lead. The Maroons in the action end. Anthony Beard still hasn't scored. He's their leading scorer. Here's McAdams Thornton. A nice soft running right-hander goes.
Well, if you give him a step in the paint, he will just put the ball in the basket. Great body control. He's strong and has a great first step.
McAdams Thornton now in double figures with 10 of Moline's 18 points. Brian Dinkelman getting it down to Shaw. The leaner gets the guy roll. Shaw with 9, and he averages 14.4 a game. Under 2 minutes now for the first half. Anthony Beard from the baseline. The shot won't go. The battle for the rebound. It goes out of bounds at Centralia basketball. Hustling for it, Travis Nunn, but couldn't save it before it went over the sidelines.
Giving him a lane to the basket on that, trying to reach in for the strip. That's not the way we want to play defense. Then we have a real scrum there on the sideline for the ball.
Nunn did a great job working through that blockout attempt and that battle for a rebound. Here's Markham. In the corner to Brian Dinkelman. Boy, he got bumped again. And knocked him off his pivot foot, and he turns it over to travel. The physical tempo's picking up a little bit.
Absolutely, Tom. Both teams are applying a little bit more pressure on the ball, and the officials are trying to keep it under control and still let them have a little leeway to play. That's hard to do sometimes.
6 turnovers for Centralia, 3 so far in the game for Moline. And a foul is called on Palmer. Centralia thought perhaps it was a 10-second violation.
No, they thought he might have used his hand to bump off.
So Palmer picks up his first. And that's the 7th, which puts Moline at the line for the 1-and bonus. But Wesley McCorkle, his first miss in 3 attempts at the free throw line. And Centralia's got it leading by 7, just over a minute for the first half. The winner will meet Springfield Lanphier in tomorrow's second semifinal game. Shaw gets it down low with the shot. Won't crawl in. And the rebound for McAdams Thornton.
They run that little play where they curl the guy up on the free throw line, and then they're able to isolate Shaw on the baseline. It's been very effective for them.
Already in double figures, McAdams Thornton. That shot blocked down low by Shaw as he got back the rebound of his own miss. Here is Centralia on the break. The shot rims off the heel for Jason Palmer. And it's going to be Centralia ball.
That just was a hustle play right there. The kids, the white shirts ran down there a little bit in greater numbers than the red shirts and were able to keep the ball in play. It finally went off the red. You see him going strong to the basket. Caleb Edson comes in, makes a nice attempt at the rebound.
And was able to get out of bounds off of Anthony Beard, and that's why Centralia's got it with 25 seconds to go in the first half. Big bucket here. They lead by 7 at the moment. They'll work it down, I'm sure, inside of 10 here, Bill, and go for a set play.
Yeah, they're gonna try to keep the ball in Lance Markham's hands as long as they can.
He's who's got it right now. There's an NBA 3. That may have been a pass to Shaw. Shaw had trouble gathering it in, and he lost it out of bounds. And it's going to be whose ball?
I think it's Centralia's ball. That's what they tried to do. They scored that dunk earlier in the ball game on that, where they bring the entire defense over and they try to sneak behind it. That was well defended by Moline. They saw that coming.
Yet I wouldn't put it by Lance Markham to maybe try a 3 from that far out, almost at the banks of the river here in Peoria. Centralia keeps the pass behind Shaw. Desperation by Burke off the backboard, and we have reached the end of the first half. Here at Carver Arena, a whale of a first half. Centralia has led ever since they took a 4-2 lead back early. They led by 10 at the end of the first quarter. They lead by 7 here at the end of the first half. And Lisa's got Centralia coach Rick Moss.
That's right, Tom. I'm here with Coach Moss. The second quarter became a very physical quarter between both teams going on right now. But talk a little bit about the fact that you focused more inside and that Shaw has scored now 9 points for you in the first half. He's really stepped up.
Well, yeah, he's a super sophomore. He steps up for us, but we just got to be more physical. We got to take it up strong. We threw in a couple weak things up there. We just got to take it up a lot stronger.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Back to you, Tom.
All right, Lisa, thank you. We've got one half down, 2 more quarters of basketball left to go here on this Friday action at Carver Arena in Peoria. We're at halftime. Centralia leads. Now let's hear from your local sponsors.
Welcome back. We're at the half right now. Centralia in the lead 25-18 against Moline. And I have a true character standing right next to me. His name is Butch Border, and Butch is Centralia's #1 fan, and you have been now for how many years?
Oh, well, I'm 58, so 40.
Okay.
At least, or 45.
45 years. Now, he doesn't look that old, but believe it or not, he already has burial plans, and I'm just amazed at the fact that he's already thought that far ahead. But you're doing something completely unique with your burial plans.
Well, sure. I want people to know 100 years from now that Centralia is America's winningest team. And I want people to know in all-time wins, basketball wins, Centralia is #9, and there's 8 NBA teams ahead of us. We're ahead of Kentucky. Kentucky is the winningest college team. We got 100 victories on them. We don't play around. We play basketball.
That's amazing. And so do you right now know how many wins they have altogether? I know you do.
1,917.
Absolutely correct. Did you ever think this man would be wrong? I don't think so. So now you have to tell me about your burial plans. What is going to be so unique about it?
Well, I had this tombstone made with the orphan logo, the little orphan on it, and America's winningest team. In case we ever lose the winningest team, I want people to know that we held it at one time. See on the back of my jacket, right? The America's winningest team in the 20th century. Nobody can ever take that away from us.
That's right. But I have to ask this question, though. I enjoy this. You have no idea how much I enjoy this interview. I'm just trying to figure out, how did you even think about that, though? How did you even think about your coffin and the fact that you want that on the tombstone as well as whatever you're going to have on your coffin?
Well, see, Centralia is all about basketball. You know, Indiana makes Hoosiers. Well, I'm asking anybody out there if they come and make a motion picture of Centralia. We're the winningest team. We're basketball. This is where it's at.
So you are excited then at today's game because Centralia is up here at the half. Talk a little bit about the emotions of the crowd. They are seriously going insane up there. It's very nice to see.
See, we start this by 3rd and 4th grade. We start them off at 3rd and 4th grade, and we've done it for years. We've had the greatest coaches in high school basketball. Arthur Trout still holds the record at one school at Centralia for 809 wins. That's tremendous. I mean, the tradition is great. At every home basketball game at Centralia, the little kids, get under the goal and rebound the ball for the players. You won't see that anywhere.
Generations on top of generations, a fantastic tradition here at Centralia. Right now, Centralia, though, at the half is in the lead, 25-18 to Moline. You're watching all the action right here. We'll be back right after these local messages for the boys Class AA state basketball tournament.
Welcome back. Halftime in our last quarterfinal game of the evening. Centralia leading right now. Moline by 7 points. Tom Stalker, Bill Hitt with you here at courtside, and a very interesting first half. Centralia basically with the upper hand. Had a chance, I think, really to open things up in the second quarter, and that second quarter was key for Moline to keep them in this ball game.
Yeah, it was. They're still looking to identify a secondary scorer to McAndrew Thornton. Beard right now has not scored a point, but they're in this game, and I don't think either team has an opportunity to put it away just yet.
Let's take a look at the stats from the first half in this contest. You see not much of a difference in terms of the field goals, already the free throws. But you take a look right now, Centralia with a couple of trays. That really helped give them the early hand. Rebounds a 2-to-1 edge for Centralia. They got a little taller team. That's not that surprising.
No, it isn't, and that's been one of the keys for Centralia right now. They've been able to dominate the paint a little bit. Another stat that we don't have up there is turnovers. We've got 7 turnovers for Centralia, and that's one of the things that has kept Moline in that ball game. Just when you thought Centralia was going to maybe break it open, they turned the ball over a couple times.
And you see the source of some of the exasperation from Centralia coach Rick Moss. The fouls a little one-sided. They're 8-3 in the first half, but right now, where it counts on the scoreboard, it's definitely an advantage for Centralia. They've got Shaw leading the sophomore with 9, while Edson with 5, and Markham also with just 5, including 1 3. While McAdams Thornton has got 10 points. He's the only player in double figures, and Jeff Perez coming off the bench to provide 4. Now in the second half, what is going through your mind right now if you're the head coach there over at Moline, Frank Dexter?
Well, if I am Frank Dexter, what I'm trying to do is find a way to get a secondary scorer. They've got to find a way to get Beard some looks at the basket and get none involved in the offense. Right now, every time McAndrew Thornton gets the ball, he's done good things with it, but they have to have another threat or two. And if I'm Rick Moss at Centralia, what I'm talking to my guys about is, hey, it's working. We're getting that ball inside. We're going to get some good second shots. We need to keep that up.
Back with the second half from Carver Arena after we take this time out to hear from your local sponsor. Welcome back. Halftime, third quarter right around the corner. Let's go over now to Lisa Fraudig.
Coach Dexter, down by 10 at the end of the first quarter. You guys made a comeback in the second, but your team is playing much more physical ball right now.
Well, we lacked aggressiveness in the early part of the game, and I thought they were very, very aggressive, and we didn't react very well. Second quarter, we got back in it, but we got to make free throws. Missed 2 1-on-1s down the stretch there. Missed a couple lay-ins. We gave them too many easy baskets. Gave them wide open threes twice, then a wide open 2. So really the difference in the game, we didn't get back. We didn't take care of the ball very well, and we lacked aggressiveness on defense. Picked it up a little bit in the second quarter. Hopefully we're a second half team tonight.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Back to you, Tom.
Thanks, Lisa. Let's take a look at highlights from the first half. It was Jeff Perez providing the outside punch for Moline as he was picking up the slack for Anthony Beard as he hit that outside jumper. Then it was Jay McAdams Thornton. Nice power move to the bucket. Also one of the strong inside players, the 6'5" senior Travis Nunn there off the break. That's his only 2 points of the first half. And McAdams Thornton coming back with a nice move into the lane. Meanwhile, the big star for Centralia in the first half has been the sophomore Matt Shaw. Nice backdoor on the alley-oop as he picks up 2 of his 9 right there. Then Anthony Jones coming off the bench, hitting the nice outside jumper. And again, we'll go back to the sophomore Matt Shaw, one of the best sophomores in the state, according to Rick Moss. Good power move to the hoop. And then here comes up with the loose ball. The save nicely there by Dinkelman. Finds Shaw and a nice little left-hand layup. As in the first half, a 7-point lead for Centralia, 25-18. Back with the third quarter after we hear from our network sponsors.
This is my country. These are my people. This is the world I understand.
It's not just talking about service. It's really knowing the people we serve.
I know them like the back of my own hand.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
Previously. Welcome back to Carver Arena. So far this year, Moline, a high of 84 points. That was a double overtime game against Quincy. The low, they were held to 44 points by Richton Park. Meanwhile, for Centralia, racking up a high of 82 against Alton, held to 32 by rival Mount Vernon. Now they're along I-57 as we're back to action in the third quarter. Moline trailing by 7 with a basketball. Anthony Beard looking for his first points of the basketball game, averaging over 20 a contest, and they got to find a way to get him involved in the offense.
They tried to set some high screens for him. He lost control of the ball, wisely passed it off, but maybe we'll see a couple special plays for him.
Here's Nunn, a nice move, slipping down inside. Travis Nunn quickly equaling his first half output. He's now got 4. Benson getting it back out front. Brian Dinkelman, the 5'10" senior defensive specialist, running the show right now from the point. He finds Lance Markham. Markham off a nice high screen, regains the ball. Nunn almost with the steal. Now Lance Markham from the outside, the shot long, and the rebound winds up in the hands of Wesley McCorkle. Up ahead through the hands of Nunn, and Frank Dexter is just beside himself. They just threw away a great possession.
Yeah, you know, it's the little things, and passing and catching is one of those little things. When you run the court, you want to run with your hands up so that you can be a target. That little split second, all it took to lose the ball.
Centralia with the ball in a 5-point lead. Dinkelman double team, gets it to Shaw. Moves in strong against McAdams Thornton. His pass may have been deflected, but it was saved by John Smith. And it's tipped to the backcourt. No, not tipped. It's over and back. And Centralia turns it over for the 8th time in the basketball game.
McAndrew Thornton made a nice defensive play down there, forcing the ball to be lost in the corner, and then they had to save it deep.
Down by 5. This could be a confidence-building possession here for the Maroons. McAdams Thornton partially blocked by Shaw. And then in the rebound, Smith looked to be fouled by Nunn. And Nunn just got his 3rd.
That was a great post move by McAndrew Thornton to get himself open, and just missed a little baby hook shot.
So Centralia still with the 5-point lead. Just about 2 minutes gone in the third quarter. Markham drawing a lot of attention from that Moline defense. They get it down low to Smith. Muscled up the shot, didn't have enough. And then Smith, battling for the rebound, is called for the foul. That is his 3rd.
There's a lot of contact underneath the basket on both sides.
And Rick Moss beside himself with that call on John Smith. Into the front court, Anthony Beard. Nunn swings it back over to Beard. He was open for just a moment, but not long enough to pull the trigger. Nice spinning move, but McAdams Thornton can't finish the got it back and put it up and in.
What a great individual effort there. Great spin move to the basket, rebounded his own miss, and put it back up strong.
The Centralia lead is down to 3. On the wing, Anthony Jones. Now puts it on the floor and kicks it back out. Over on the wing, they find Markham. Dinkelman shooting the tray. Won't go home. And the rebound controlled by David Burke. He picked up his dribble. He's in trouble, but he was helped out by Jay McAdams Thornton, who quickly, he never stopped. He took it all the way inside, and he dished it off to Travis Nunn, who's got 6, and it's a one-point basketball game, folks.
Another great play by McAndrew Thornton. No one stopped the ball. No one stopped penetration. He just took it down, easy dish off.
And contact away from the basketball as Lance Markup winds up on the deck. And the foul is going to be called to Moline's Anthony Beard, who gets his first, second of the second half for Moline. Timeout on the floor with 4:50 to go in the third quarter. It's a one-point game. Let's now hear from your local sponsors.
And these girls right here, amongst everybody else, is just loaded with Moline all over their t-shirts. And talk about how you guys do this. Right? Talk about how you guys do this. You do this for every game?
We make a new shirt for every game, and we go out and spend tons of money on markers, blow pens, glitter, anything that we can put on our shirts that says school spirit.
And they definitely have school spirit in this section, and they wear a new t-shirt every single game, and they have not missed a game this season. Tom, back to you.
Lisa Ever, the fashion trendsetter. This is now a one-point basketball game. Centralia with the basketball. Anthony Jones getting it out front. Dinkelman over now to Markham. They get it down low for Shaw. He had to reach for the ball. That exposed the ball, and it's taken away by David Burke. If the pass goes right to him, then there's no foul, but he had to go reach for it. Out front with it, and a foul call as Wesley McCorkle draws the foul.
Centralia losing just a little bit of their concentration. They need to get it back. They need to focus on what they can control. Can't control officials, can only the play. So got to get themselves back together.
Nunn kicks it back outside. McAdams Thornton over on the wing where he finds Anthony Beard. Now Burke trying to get it down low. Nice job overplaying, and the steal by Dinkelman. We told you earlier his specialty is defense. Here's Jones hitting the three.
Big shot, great look. Caleb Edson did a nice job on that, holding up and then finding the shooter on the wing.
First points of the third quarter for Centralia. 28-24, they have a 4-point lead. Ball got loose, but Nunn rescues it, twists inside of Shaw and puts it up and in. Nunn, who was quiet in the first half, has come alive.
Yeah, Tom, they needed him to get active, and he's got a couple 3 baskets right now.
2-point contest, and a foul called on Centralia. As folks, we want to thank the great people over at Old Chicago as they're providing some great food for our production crew. Great pizzas, pasta, and more. When you got to fly, get some Old Chicago to go. They're down on the riverfront here at Peoria. Go down there and catch the IHSA and NCAA tournament games on several televisions. So again, the folks at Old Chicago, thank you very much. Jones will inbound it for Centralia as he gets it in the market. A 2-point lead now for the Orphans, who have led by as many as 10 in this basketball game. Dinkelman on the wing to Markham. Back out to Jones. Jones, nice kickoff. Shaw moves to his left, can't hit the shot. Nunn the rebound, and Nunn has been a force now at both ends in this third quarter.
Yeah, he's starting to play the way I'm sure Frank wanted him to play early in the ball game. That was good movement on Centralia's part. They just weren't paid for it, didn't score.
Well, in many respects, this is kind of like Travis Nunn's season. He's steadily gotten better and better, and his confidence is building, almost like his confidence was building in this game. The reach-in foul as they tried to get the entry pass to McAdams Thornton, and Lance Markham just picked up the foul.
You know, he's very hard to guard. He's got a wide body. You can't guard him real well with a guard down low, and he's a little bit quicker on the perimeter for the big guys.
Jamal Palmer checked in, and Lance Markham, you see, is heading over to the orphan bench. Centralia with a chance to tie, maybe take the lead. Here's Beard looking for his first points, and he gets the three, and he puts Moline in front for the first time in a long time.
They ran a little double screen off that inbounds play. Knew they were going to run it for Beard. Got him the ball. He had a long time to measure that shot.
Down low inside. Shaw scores. Fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot for the old-fashioned three-point play.
Nice step to the basket. When he's just a strong inside player.
Fourth team foul on Moline. McAdams Thornton just got his first as Rick Moss brings Jason Palmer back in the game, replacing Caleb Edson.
You can see him step, how powerful he goes to the board. Just a second slow getting there.
So Shaw, who had 9 first-half points, has not yet scored in the second half. Now he has. He's got 10, and it's a 31-29 lead for Centralia. The steal by the leaping Jason Palmer. Turnover number 6 in the ballgame now for Moline. Dinkelman found Palmer in the lane, but they get it back out to Jones. Jones will bring it back out, and Jason Palmer now has it cross court. Jones on the move against Beard. In the corner to Dinkelman. They get it back outside. Jones didn't quite have an advantage there on Beard, and wisely brought the ball back outside to Jason Palmer.
They're just spreading the court. They're looking for seams, and they're looking for the defense to make a mistake.
Boys, it's physical inside, and Centralia throws it away. There was some absolute bruising going on away from the basketball, and what happened eventually, Centralia airmailed it out of bounds. And again, Moline with a chance for the tie, maybe the lead again. And Beard is bumped and fouled by Jamal Palmer.
They've come out in this last couple of minutes here, Tom, with a little bit of a half-court trap, looking to just, again, change the look, change the tempo, make Moline pick the ball up in places they don't want to pick up. Unfortunately, can't reach in and smack his arm.
That, by the way, was the third on Jamal Palmer. Moline with the ball, down by 2. McAdams Thornton. Now it's Perez, who had a couple of big first-half baskets, is back in the lineup for the Maroons. He gets the ball in the corner, shooting the long 2. Airmailed it over the top. Shaw had the rebound, and it's going to be Centralia ball. A tough call in the corner, but they give it to the Orphans as Caleb Edson now comes back off the bench. Let's take a look in the corner.
It's, yeah, the shot's wide. Yeah, one off of Moline.
Yeah. Right off of David Burke. Just over a minute left in the third quarter. Taking 2 points in Centralia lead.
He's got none on the bench. Trying to get him a little extra rest also with the 3 fouls. Kind of nursed that timeout between quarters, because they're going to need him in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it was Travis Nunn that got Moline right back in this ball game in this third quarter. And Frank Dexter wants him definitely fresh and available in the fourth quarter, because this game looks like it's heading right down to the wire as we approach 30 seconds left in the third quarter. And right now, Anthony Jones just eating up some time as he works the clock down to 25 seconds. Now down to 15 seconds.
You don't see high screens like that as a delay too often.
Well, here comes Anthony Jones. Yes, he gets the roll. He gets 9 with just 3 seconds to go. The long one at the buzzer, just short for Anthony Beard. We've reached the end of 3 quarters, and Centralia has a 4-point advantage. We'll be back with what should be a dynamite 4th quarter after we hear from our local sponsors. There you go through 3 quarters. You see the numbers in the 3rd quarter. Moline was 5 of 9 from the field. Centralia was just 3 of 8. You take a look, not much of an edge in terms of free throws or 3 points, but the rebound still an edge so far for Centralia, 17-11. 1 quarter to go. 8 minutes left in the season of one of these 2 teams. The winner will go on to the semis. The loser calls it a year. A 4-point edge right now for the Orphans. They've got the basketball. Jones was at a pair of buzzer beaters so far in this game. That one rims across, and a strong rebound for McAdams Thornton. Gets the long down court pass to Burke. Burke can't finish off the break. A little out of control as he put up a wild right-hander. Here's Jones weaving through traffic. Finds Markham, who drew a double team quickly. In the air for that ball was Edson, and he was bumped and fouled by Wesley McCorkle, who got his second.
That's a young man you're talking that had the great jump. He went up high in the air, almost intercepted it, but committed the foul.
McCorkle was called for goaltending in the tournament game against Rochelle. And when you're 5'10", you take that as a compliment.
You got to get up pretty high.
Shaw inbounds it to Lance Markham. Markham with just 5 points in the game, averaging just under 14 points a game on the season for Centralia. Shaw getting it down low. Not a good pass to Smith, but he did a good job of saving it. Now Caleb Edson gets it out to Dinkelman. Just about a minute gone here in the final quarter. And Centralia right now is looking for just the sure thing.
Yeah, they're just looking for ball movement right now. Nice job. Found the open man. Edson with the jump shot there.
Well, that's now a 7-0 run for Centralia. They've opened up a 6-point lead, getting the first bucket here in the 4th quarter. Folks, we also want to remind you about the great folks at Bradco. And they salute the 2 teams here in tonight's game. This IHSA broadcast is brought to you by Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
You have a great rotation of the ball there. Caleb Edson going up strong. That's a big basket at that time.
And again, a 7-0 run right now for Centralia. And right now, they're just about 7 minutes away on the clock from a semifinal matchup against Springfield Lamphere in tomorrow's second semifinal game. Frank Dexter got his ball club right back in that ball game. But suddenly right now, he's not been able to answer this run for Centralia, and they need a bucket right now. The Maroons do. Anthony Beard, who didn't get his first points until this third quarter. Now out front it goes to Wesley McCorkle. They lob it down low, looking for McAdams Thornton, and a nice steal by Matt Shaw. Centralia not looking to take the break there. They had a guy on to Smith. Tried to get the advantage on Nunn. Caleb Benson getting it back out front. Back out by the center circle. Ryan Dinkelman. From the corner. Is good for Lance Markham. He's got 8. And suddenly now it's a 9-point lead. And it's a 10-0 run for Centralia. And Moline takes a 30-second timeout.
They just set a play up on that time, rotated the ball to the corner, found Markham, he drilled it.
And right now, Centralia is just hitting the shots. Let's look at that one again.
You can see Markham coming along the baseline, spots up, gets his feet underneath him, hits a big shot.
Picks up his second three-pointer of the night, his 82nd of the year. He's a 42% shooter from outside the arc. As we'll go into the huddle now with Rick Moss.
Hey, we don't have anything. There are all kinds of timeouts. Take a timeout if you have problems. No, keep digging it up. Big stop, John. Yeah.
Rick Moss has been through the wars. He started his coaching career at Highland, then on to Vandalia, made a real mark at Summit Argo, then went on collegiately to Iowa, and now is in his 8th year at Centralia, and right now his ball club's got a 9-point lead.
You know, Frank Dexter's telling his kids they don't have to get the ball. They're not going to make a 9-point shot. Just be real patient. Run your offense. Plenty of time left in this ball game.
Anthony Beard getting it to Nunn. Nunn shot blocked by Shaw, but it winds up in the hands of Wesley McCorkle. He's having trouble controlling it. The battle goes to the backcourt, and it's picked up by Perez, and he immediately calls time. A wild scramble for the basketball.
Well,
watch how this ball bounces all over creation.
Starts with a deflected shot. Then you have McCorkle losing possession. Lance Markham just hustles. Perez wisely calls timeout, although they're down to their one more timeout left, and that's going to be big for Moline later on in this ball game.
Yeah. Let's go now into the huddle of the Moline Maroons.
Be the aggressors, come on. Let's go 18. Let's go 18 quickly. Now, if you haven't got it, come up and get it. You haven't got this guy going back door. Look for Anthony for 3. Come on, y'all, let's go. Now listen. Hey, you cannot throw it to this guy. Hit the guy in the corner and throw it in. You understand? Let's go.
Well, it looks like they're looking to try to pick up the points in a hurry, looking to get the outside shot.
Yeah, you know, one of the things, we have 5.5 minutes in this ball game. With the 3-point shot, you can get back in the game in a hurry. I think you got to go back to McAdams Thornton. He carried you on the back in the first half. They need to get that ball inside and play a little inside-out game, and maybe that'll free up their shooters on the perimeter as well.
McAdams Thornton, of his 12 points, only 2 have come in the second half. Centralia with a 38-29 lead, 5.5 minutes left in somebody's season here at Carver Arena, Peoria. There's a steal by Dinkelman, and as he brought it to the front court, a holding foul on McCorkle.
Yeah, it's a tough break for Anthony Beard, but what he did is he tried to enter the ball too close to the center line. You make that wing pass, you got to just bring the ball over a little bit closer. It stays in the air on the ground too long, was able to be intercepted.
You would look, I would suspect, for Centralia to try to take as much time as they can, but right now Moline's trying to pressure the ball every time they get an opportunity. So the trouble is right now Centralia is not giving them an opportunity.
Yeah, they're trapping out there. They're trying to trap on the wings. You know, Centralia, you can't take the air out of the ball right now, but you just got to be strong with everything you do.
Pulling his way through the double team with Shaw. Here is Ryan Dinkelman, his first 3-pointer of the year. and it's a 13-point lead.
Matt Shaw made that play by stepping through the double team, had his body under control, found a shooter.
And that ends a 12-0 run. McAdams Thornton gets the shot.
Yeah, I think I'd want him to touch the ball every time down the court if I was Moline.
He's got 14 now. It was 29-28 in favor of Moline, and all of a sudden you looked up and it was 42-29. There was a 14-0 run in that stretch for Centralia before McAdams Thornton hit that two-pointer just a few moments ago. A scramble for the loose ball and a held ball between Smith and Beard. And which way does the alternate possession arrow go? Goes to Moline.
You know, Coach Moss is saying you have something like that. Next time you call a timeout, you don't knock people down. You call a timeout early. Don't try to bull your way through that.
Out front, Anthony Beard. Now quickly, McAdams Thornton missed everything with the shot in the corner. And coming out of the pack was Jason Palmer for Centralia. Palmer a little out of control, but is able to find Shaw, who throws it back out. Here's Markham for a three. Lance Markham with 11.
He spotted up there. He asked for the ball. It took him a while for them to find him, but when they did, he just put that ball in.
A 13-point lead. Biggest of the night. Contact. Player control foul. Wave off the bucket for Anthony Beard. He gets the foul instead.
That's a great play by Matt Shaw. I saw him driving to the basket. He got over there quickly, established him. You can see him coming over now, all the way over to the help side.
Boy, did he have position. Established position early.
Jason Palmer's coming out of the game for Centralia. He did a nice job of putting pressure defensively and taking some of the burden off of Markham.
That's exactly what his role is on the Centralia basketball team. Into the front court, Markham, the pass tipped out of bounds. And the Orphans will keep it with 3:24 remaining. Centralia leading by 13. Rick Moss 3.5 minutes away from going to the semis. Going to the IHSA Final Four as Perez comes out of the game for Moline. And they bring David Burke back in. John Smith, the guy they call Big Dumb Ugly, and he was pulling for the baseline, and he's blocked and fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line, I believe.
You know, in a situation like this, Tom, as the clock is winding down to the 3-minute mark, you really are playing two things. You're playing your opponent, and you're also playing the clock. So the possessions change. What you try to do offensively changes as well. Rick's telling John Smith there, you don't have to take the ball that strongly. You got to be a little bit more under control.
By the way, Travis Nunn just picked up his fourth. But at this point, with 3:19 remaining, and you're down by 13, you got to keep Nunn in the basketball game. Nunn has been quiet since his big burst there in the third quarter as John Smith, the 6'6" senior, misses the free throw, and Nunn gets the rebound. Still lots of time left in this one, but Moline has little to waste. Beard for three. Shot it long, an air ball. And right now, they're just not getting the shooting.
No, Jamal Palmer's doing a great job. He's a very good defender. They've had him on Beard and on McAndrews Thornton at different times in this ball game.
Timeout called by Centralia as you see Wesley McCorkle heading over towards the bench across the way. Bradco Supply Corporation and Owens Corning, makers of vinyl siding and shingles, are proud to be sponsors of this year's Illinois High School Association's state basketball tournament, the home of America's original March Madness. And they wish the best of luck to all the teams, especially here in this game, Moline and Centralia. Reset the game right now. Centralia 13-point lead. Moline with just one timeout remaining, and Centralia is a long way from putting Moline at the free throw line as well.
Right. You know, they got a couple fouls to give. Obviously, in addition to the score, the timeouts and the foul factor are also in their favor.
Exactly. And right now, it's Anthony Jones. The clock As Mick and the boys would say, time is on their side. Centralia's. As Markham, they're just going to work the clock right now. And that's exactly what Rick Moss is saying right in front of our broadcast position.
They run a nice little delay where they look to get the cutter posting on the weak side block. Get a cheap, right there he is, cheap little score.
Shaw getting it out of traffic. They didn't get it down weak side for the little jumper for Caleb Benson. He's got 9. And he says, Grandpa, that's for you. 15-point lead right now, and a reach-in foul on Anthony Jones. As Jones just picked up his 3rd, and Rick Moss is going to clear the bench.
Well, what he's doing is he's when he gets an opportunity, he's doing some offensive and defensive substitutions.
He's platooning more than clearing the bench. That's a little misleading. He's bringing in now the defensive specialist. As he brought in the likes of Jamal Palmer and Jason Palmer. Anthony Beard drawing a lot of attention. A near steal there by Palmer. McAdams Thornton, the 3 is good from the top of the key. And a timeout called by Moline, their last timeout. We'll take a timeout here at Carver Arena in Peoria. Centralia leading it by 12. Let's hear now from your network sponsors.
This is my country. These are my people. This is the world I understand.
It's not just talking about service. It's really knowing the people we serve.
I know them like the back of my own hand.
Country Insurance and Financial Services. Real people, real answers, real quick.
Here late in this ball game with 1:56 to go, you see Nunn. He's playing with 4, while Beard and McCorkle each with 3 for Moline. Centralia 3 each for Anthony Jones, as well for Jamal Palmer.
Yeah, right now the fouls are a factor, but they're not as big a factor as the clock. 1:56. There's still time for Moline, but they're out of timeout, so they're going to have to do it with the clock running, and that's going to be more difficult.
1:56 remaining. Centralia inches closer and closer to a semifinal date tomorrow with the Lions at Springfield Lamphere.
Moline is now full court man-to-man press. You got to go all over the court to get the ball.
Shaw picks up shy of midcourt, but then he gets it into the front court. Markham way up ahead, and getting fouled hard was Caleb Edson. But they had to commit the foul because Edson had the easy jumper.
Well, you know, if you're going to give up a layup, you got to at least make them hit free throws for the 2 points. It's good recognition on the part of Centralia to rotate the ball down, get it into the middle, and then kick it on the wing.
Caleb Edson didn't play much last year. He almost didn't come out for the team this year. Luckily for Rick Moss, the 6'1" senior did. Edson now with 10. Mom and Dad look on as Caleb started this year as the 6th man and was earning a reputation as maybe one of the best 6 men in Southern Illinois, but they moved him into the starting lineup the last dozen games or so, and it's really helped pay dividends.
Yeah, he's been real strong tonight. He hit some big shots and defensively did a real nice job.
It's both free throws, and now checking in for him will be Jamal Palmer. Mom and Dad staying in town for another night. 1:45 remaining. It's a 14-point Centralia lead. And they got to put up some threes in a hurry, the Maroons do. McAdams Thornton does so, rimming short, and Centralia comes up with a rebound. And double team, triple team, and foul in the backcourt, Anthony Jones.
You know, coaches sometimes get a little bit crazy. I know you find that hard to believe, Tom, but that was one of the things we work on when you tell them to box out until the ball hits the ground. Centralia did an excellent job of getting their bodies on the Moline players, keeping them away from the ball, picked it up actually after it hit the ground.
I do want to say you've done well with your new medication. The tyrant that you used to be on the sidelines, not. Anthony Jones now in double figures with 10. Checking in Kirk Hansen, a 6'5" senior, and that's going to be it for Travis Nunn, who leads the game with 8 points. He almost single-handedly, he just about did get them right back in the ball game back in the third quarter. Matt Chenoweth, who's playing with a broken nose, now checks in, and he replaces the sophomore Wesley McCorkle. One of the players they'll build around next year. The free throw good for Jones. He's got 11, a minute and a half to go. And it's a 16-point Centralia lead. Desperation shot by Baird. And it's out of bounds off the hand of Chenoweth. And now, right in front of us, the bench is being cleared. John Smith comes back in. Here comes Caleb Edson back in as the platooning continues now for Rick Moss with a minute 19 remaining.
Just offense to defense is what he's doing with some of his perimeter people.
Centralia will have it with a 16-point lead. Markham, long pass to the front court where he finds John Smith. And a reach around foul from behind as he's fouled by Adam Johnson, a 6'2" junior. John Smith done a good job staying out of the foul trouble. He did pick up 2 quick fouls in the first half. He tends to be real aggressive when he plays defensively and tends to at times get into foul trouble. The free throw rim short. In fact, Rick Moss had to revise some of the defensive schemes to try to keep him out of foul trouble this year. Is coming out of the game, Matt Shaw. What a job for the sophomore. Leads the game with 10, and leaving is Jay McAdams Thornton. A big hug from Frank Dexter. McAdams Thornton, 15 points a ball game, a 3-year starter. Not the way he wanted to end his career.
Yeah, both of those players did a great job tonight.
Now Jamal Palmer is in, and John Smith heads out. A minute 12 remaining, and Centralia with a 17-point lead. Remember, at the end of the third quarter, this was a 4-point ball game, 33-29. And so Centralia just 5 points in this half to 18 in this half for Centralia.
Right.
Forgot you're the teacher. You figured that out quicker than I did.
You know, sometimes, Tom, you'll look up and you'll think it's one thing, and a minute or two later it'll be something different. It'll change that quickly, and I think that's what happened to Moline right now. They just lost a little bit of their composure at the start of the fourth quarter, and you can't do that down here.
There's a 13-0 run at the end of the third quarter that transcended into the fourth quarter that really put Centralia in control as we're under 40 seconds. Lance Markham. And Rick Moss wants to take a quick little 30 because he wants to get some more players into the contest. Is coming in now Andrew Walton, number 21 for Centralia. Also checking in now Blake Friels. He had a little action in the first half. 35.2 seconds remaining as Kirk Hansen heads to the bench along with Kyle Lasik over there. Now's the time you just try to get some of the guys in that may not see much action during the season, but you couldn't run practices without them.
Oh, you know, absolutely. Both Rick Moss and Frank Dexter are thinking the same thing. Game's over. I got to get these kids, give them what reward I can.
That was Jordan Queen, number 30, who had just checked in for Centralia. 27 seconds to go. Queen with it. Getting it back out to Andrew Waltman. Markham on the wing. Back out it goes at the point. And Caleb Edson. And getting fouled is Andrew Walton, and he'll go to the free throw line. 13.5 seconds remaining, and that picture tells it all for Moline. losing in the quarterfinals, the Elite Eight last year. In overtime, the Lions Township 52-48. And unfortunately for the Maroons, it looks like again it's at least here in the state finals 1 and out. You can talk about making it here, but when you've gone back-to-back 1 and out, it's a tough thing to handle when you're making that drive back. And just take a look at Rick Moss's wife there in the stands, making plans for the semifinals tomorrow. Under 10 seconds. No good. The shot by Jamie Hallstrom. Adam Johnson hitting a 3 just before the buzzer, and this one's over. And the semifinal brackets are now complete, as Centralia wins it 51-37, and they'll play Lanphier in the semifinals tomorrow. Centralia looking for its first state championship in 60 years, and looking to go to the finals for the first time since 1963. Both teams exchange the post-game tradition of exchanging handshakes. Centralia goes to 26-5. Moline finishes the year 26-5. The 26 wins, tying a school record. So, jubilation on the Centralia side here at Carver Arena in Peoria. And we're efforting to get you a visit here with the victorious coach Rick Moss. And in just a few moments, we'll hear what the 8th-year coach has to say after picking up his 208th win. Let's go down to Lisa.
Tom, I'm here with Coach Moss, and Coach, congratulations on a great win, moving on to the semifinals tomorrow against Lanphier. It was a tough physical game throughout the entire time with Moline. Talk a little bit about the fact that you have 4 of your players that were in double figures throughout the game.
That's the way it's been all year. I mean, we just got a great team. That's what I can say about these kids. They work so hard. They play together. They play within their game. I'm proud of them. You know, as rich a traditions we have at Centralia, it's been since 1963, which is amazing. And the kids are very happy to be bringing home hardware. But now we're not going to be satisfied unless we can get in that late game tomorrow night.
Well, what do you know about Lanphier going into tomorrow's game?
I know they're awful good. They're awful good. They're awful talented. They're well coached, and not much. We plan for one game, and you know, we don't look ahead. And we're going to be working awful hard tonight, getting ready.
Well, I was going to say, how do you come back with the same amount of intensity that you had in this game going into tomorrow's game? I'm assuming you're going to be a little tired.
No, these kids, we're going to get them to bed. We're going to put the cheerleaders someplace else. We're going to get them to bed, and these kids will be ready to play. You know, this is what it's all about. What a great opportunity for these kids, and they come out with the intensity.
Well, congratulations on moving on to the semifinals. Now, also next to me is Matt Shaw, and Matt scored 12 points, 6 rebounds against Moline, and your team just really came out right off the bat quick. You started scoring, and you pretty much stopped Moline's offense right off the bat.
Yeah, you know, we just, I don't know, try to do our best and get out there and play team defense is pretty much just what we do. What did you know about Moline coming into this game? Well, we knew that 24 was their main player, and to win, we'd probably have to shut them down, you know, so I just went out there and tried to play his best defense I could on them. Now, do you feel a lot of pressure just being a sophomore on a varsity team, playing with the talented players that you do on the squad? Well, not really, but it is kind of, because, you know, I'm playing with all seniors on the starting lineup, so, but, you know, they make me feel real at home. I love it. Was there anything about this game that really impressed you about your team that maybe you hadn't seen all season long? Not really. We've just been doing the same thing all year long, playing team defense, running offense, helping each other out. All right, Matt Shaw, our player of the game here for the last quarterfinal game. Tom, back to you.
All right, Lisa Friday, thank you very much, as we've now completed our semifinal brackets for tomorrow. We'll be back with more to kind of set the stage for tomorrow and look back to what happened today after we take this time out to hear from our local sponsors. Welcome back to Carver Arena here in Peoria. Tom Stocker and Bill Hitt with you as we've completed now the semifinals. As it'll be Centralia against Lanphier, and of course the first semifinal game tomorrow will be Westinghouse, the Chicago Public League champion, against New Trier. And hate to pick a winner out of those. We'll wait a little bit later for that. But this game tonight, the third quarter, late in the third quarter, early in the fourth, Bill, the big difference for Centralia.
Yeah, I think all the biggest difference was that they kept their composure when they needed to. Moline made that little run at the end of the third quarter, went ahead by a point. Centralia came right back with a big basket, and that seemed to lift them up a little bit. Then throughout the fourth quarter, they made some big shots when they needed to.
Centralia, we've talked about the tradition, the legendary program, now 1,918 victories from 1906 here into the 21st century. Of course, 810 of those wins came from the legendary coach Arthur Trout, and Rick Moss picked up his 208th victory to kind of put that into perspective, what Arthur Trout's record was there at Centralia. Stats so far in the final stats in the ball game, you saw that Centralia 19 of 34 from the field. They shot the ball very well.
Yeah, they did. That was a big key, and they shot it well late, and kept them, you know, you hit those big shots, keeps your confidence up.
Rebound, Centralia out rebounding Moline 21-14. Look, one of the telling stats, the team play offensively for Centralia with 14 assists in the game.
Yeah, that was key, and they did a nice job of distributing the ball, getting it to their scores at the right time.
Turnovers were even. Block, Centralia with 4 block shots. The steals, Centralia with 7 to 4 for Moline, and they're the total fouls in the basketball game. But Centralia really did it with the rebounding and with the torrid shooting and great assists, great team play in that game individually. McAdams Thornton wound up leading Moline with 17 points in his final game. Nunn also closed out his career as Travis Nunn finished with 8. Centralia, look at the balanced scoring. 4 in double figures. Nobody had more than Shaw, who had 12 in the contest. Let's go back and take a look at some of the action from this final quarterfinal game. Talk about some of that team play right there. They get the lob inside to Smith, and he had a lot of room to work.
A strong player inside.
Again, watch that. Another assist on this bucket by Caleb Edson, as he wound up with 10.
That was one of those big shots late in the game that just seemed to boost their confidence.
Looked to be a three-point shot, turned out to be the alley-oop to Shaw coming in the back door. As we watch Centralia, now they show the outside touch. Lance Markham, who's their three-point specialist. He had 11, just a little bit under his scoring average, but he scored just enough for Centralia to wind up winning at 51-37 and get ready to take on Lanphier in tomorrow's second semifinal game. Let's kind of wrap up the day. Let's go over to our sideline colleague, Lisa Prati.
Well, Tom, I'm here to highlight what you are going to see tomorrow in between games and after games. In between the semifinal game tomorrow, you're going to see the three-point shootout, which is sponsored by Country Insurance and Financial Services. It is down to the Final Four, so they will choose one from that actual competition. Will then move to in between the third place and the championship game tomorrow for the three-point shootout. Then after the second game of the semifinals, there's even more to be featured. You will see the slam dunk competition, and if you want to see some of the best players out here in Illinois dunking, well, that is going to be the place to be. That is going to from the Final Four down to 1, and that competition then will take the Class A, who won from last weekend, will take on the Class AA in between games once again of the third place and the championship. So as you can tell, besides seeing great basketball tomorrow between Lanphier and Centralia, as well as Westinghouse and New Trier first in the semifinals, you're going to see a lot of action in between games too. So Tom, wonderful working with both you and Bill again, and I will see you tomorrow.
It's going to be fun tomorrow as we take a little moment here at the end of today's action to remember that this is not only the 50th anniversary of the Hebron Green Giants' magnificent victory in the state finals, but 50 years ago, of course, was the beginning of something else that was special. IHSA Network Television. As we go down to black and white, and now you're picking us up off this classic microphone, much the way Jack Dries did when he was courtside at Huff Gym in 1952, and then tossed it at the end of the game to a young unknown announcer named Chick Hearn. That's the kind of heritage we're working with, Bill Hitton, and that is part of the fun of being here in March Madness at Peoria. So for the whole gang here at Carver Arena, thanks for being with us. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Night for me. No, I can't go back to back like I used to.